I'm Nikki. I'm from Monarch Herbs, and I am here today doing a tincture. Tinctures are great because you can take them with you if you would like to. They are simple to take, and they preserve the herb. And so the whole purpose of herbs is to preserve them. So I am doing a dried tincture today. So I've got dried herb. Today I'm working with Echinacea purpurea, and I'm going to be making a tincture with a vodka base, so or alcohol based tincture. So what I'm going to do is I've got just a small jar here, and I'm going to be putting about 50% or halfway full in the jar. This is called the simpler's method. You're just guesstimating. You don't have to use a scale or anything like that. We're just doing something simple. So this is about halfway, maybe let's take a titch more in there, of the Echinacea purpurea. After that, Echinacea purpurea needs just a little bit of alcohol base. So most of the time you get a vodka or an alcohol in the store, and it gives you the proof. So for example, this is 80 proof, which means it's 40% alcohol. So whatever the proof is, the alcohol is half of that amount. And so this is a 40% alcohol, and so I only need about a 25% for Echinacea purpurea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this mostly with alcohol. And I'm just going to add in just a little bit of water to kind of dilute the alcohol, because remember I only need 25% and that's 40. So I'm just putting in just a little bit of alcohol, or a little bit of water, sorry, distilled, this is distilled water. Just a little bit of water, and that's it. What I'm going to do is just put the top on. I'm going to make sure I label it. Now when you label it, make sure you put the date on it, because these tinctures should be, should sit and work its magic for about 6 weeks. You can open them up and start using them earlier, about 2 weeks if you must. But 6 weeks is optimal, and so I like to put the name of my herb on there and the date, so that way I know 6 weeks out I am set to go ahead and strain this. So this is a totally finished tincture. That's it. You're just going to let that sit. You're going to shake it every day. You're going to set it on the counter, shake it every day. As you walk by, just make sure that all of the alcohol is reaching all the parts of the herb that's in the jar. That way all of those constituents from the herbs will absorb into your alcohol, which is what you're wanting. Alright, and that is the first part of making herbs. In about a couple weeks we'll come back, we will strain this, and we will be able to finish our tincture. I'm just going to finish out tinctures today. So I have had this herb soaking. This happens to be red clover, and it's been soaking for over 6 weeks. So I'm ready to strain this and make it into actual something I can use. So all I'm going to do is open this up. What I have is I have nut milk bags. Nut milk bags, I can, usually make nut milk with them, but of course I can use them for tinctures. And what I like about them is that I can reuse them. I can wash them out, and then I can reuse them for another tincture. Many people use cheesecloth, and that's completely okay too. It's whatever you've got on hand. So if you use cheesecloth, you're just going to set out cheesecloth over a strainer, and then you're going to pour the herb into it, strain it all out, and then you can throw the cheesecloth and the herb away in the garbage. This I can reuse again. So I just like to use them because I reuse them, and I don't have to worry about purchasing umpteen stacks of cheesecloth for all of my herbs. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to strain this. So what I actually like to do is, right before I strain it, shake it. Make sure you get all of the herb off the bottom. Make sure there's nothing sticking to the bottom, so it'll all empty out into your cheesecloth or your nut milk bag, whatever you choose to use. So I'm going to just pour this right into here and strain this out. So just get as much of the liquid out, because of course that is your tincture. Strain it one more time. Alright. I think I'm good. Now this you cannot reuse again. This is called the mark, or the herb that is left over. You cannot reuse it again. It will, I mean, you could, but you're going to get a really, really weak tincture, which is not what you're wanting. So most people don't use them again and throw them into the garbage. You can put them into the compost. That's totally acceptable and good for your compost too, you know, you're reusing stuff. So I've got this totally strained now. I can go ahead and, what I do is I just put them back into a jar. Some people go ahead and put them into a tincture bottle. It depends upon how much you've made. What I like to do is put them into a jar, and when I'm ready to use the tincture, I can either put it in a simple jar and make just, you know, one herb tincture, which is called a simple. That's great. You can do that, but I also like to keep them in a jar, and I can mix them in with other herb tinctures to make a formula. So you can do whatever you'd like. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to put it into a tincture jar. This one will be a simple, so this will be, simple just means one herb. All right. So this is filled up to the top, and put your, put this on there, and you're set to go. Now, when you go to take this, it's very simple. Now, remember, this is alcohol-based. If you just go ahead and drop this into your mouth, it's going to be strong, and it can even burn your mouth. So that's not a very good thing to do. So what I need to do is I'm just going to grab I just use shot glasses. It works great. I just use a shot glass. So here's my shot glass. So when I go to take a tincture, I put in 1 or 2 droppers full. 1, 2. I've got 2 droppers full in there. That's pretty standard for an adult dose. If it's a child, I would probably cut it in half, depending on the age. And then all I do is I fill this up with water. Okay, now you're good to go. You're ready to take your tincture and just shoot it like a shot, right? There you go. Much more palatable. You don't want to burn your tongue. I had a friend that started on tinctures. She didn't know that she was supposed to dilute them, and she just put them right on her tongue, and she said, "I am burning my tongue." Yeah, you don't want to do that. So definitely, with alcohol tinctures, dilute them. Use a shot glass or just a small glass, whatever you've got. Just add a little bit of water to it, and down the hatch it goes. If you use a vegetable glycerin or a vinegar, obviously that's going to be much more palatable than alcohol. So those you could take probably straight into your mouth if you'd like. But as for alcohol, dilute, otherwise you will burn your mouth. So that's it. Now I've got this. I'm set to put a top back on it. And I will label it, and I'll just put it in my cabinets, and then I can use it for later. I can make it into a formula, or I can, you know, just refill my simples jar, whatever you know, it depends upon the herb and what you're doing. But that is the simple way to make a tincture, very easy. So you're just letting it sit for a couple weeks, you're going to strain it off, and now you've got your tincture. That's quite a bit, that'll last you. And what's great about alcohol tinctures is they can last 3 to 5 years, maybe even longer. So how do you know if they are bad? Well, first of all, they get really gummy and gross. And you'll tell, you know, when you pull out this, you know, it should be liquid. You know, it's alcohol, it should be liquid. If it's coming out gummy, it is not good anymore, and you should pitch it. So this will last 3 to 5 years, which literally this is probably what all I need for the next 3 to 5 years. I won't have to redo it. So I will just keep this in the cabinet, and I'm good to go. I'm set for the next 3 to 5 years for this tincture, you know. And so yeah, this is the basic method, alcohol-based tincture, and now you'll have it to give to your family.